All right, so for January's roundtable, we are going to be discussing the Amazon storefront, what the storefront is, best practices for setting it up, and then I'll also have some live examples to go through, try to replicate those successes. So diving into it, what is the Amazon storefront? So the Amazon storefront is a brand registry tool that allows you to showcase your brand and, of course, the catalog of products that you have. So any products that you have available, you can go ahead and put them into the storefront. Now, the storefront can be found on your listing as well as certain PPC ad placements. So there are a few different ways you can do it. You can also link it externally, either in email, social media. There's a few different options available for you out there to use your storefront. Basically, how you should see your storefront is it is a new website on Amazon where basically people can learn all about your brand and your products. So to find it in Seller Central, you tilt into Seller Central and then head over to the stores on the left-hand side. So with the store, you are able to include a lot of different things about your brand and, of course, your product. You are able to directly link your products within the storefront. You can add tons of images and different infographics. You can add video, shoppable images, which is essentially a way for you to basically, within an actual image, be able to and shoppable in that way. So that's one exciting way that you can make it more engaging of a feature, which is great. So that would be what you can link with your storefront. But then also, basically, Amazon makes this incredibly simple. So you can see right here on the side view, you have your paid actions. This is where you're able to say, oh, I want an image here, I want a video, or whatever the case may be. You can see that there are different options based off the different deliverables that you have available to you, right? So that is what the Amazon storefront is. Now, what are the uses for the Amazon storefront? So there are a few different uses that you can see listed here. So first is primarily PPC advertising. It's a big use for this specific tool, because with PPC advertising, you're able to link your Amazon storefront to sponsored brand campaigns by featuring products and conveying brand messages, linking ads to more of a stronger brand experience where you can hopefully drive sales and conversions, right? So that's one awesome thing to think about when it comes to the storefront. You're also able to integrate your sponsored product campaigns within the storefront, lay out strategically placing advertised products alongside related offerings to boost discoverability, and then additional purchases, which is great. And then this also is just another brand tool, is how you can see it, where basically it's a way to ensure consistent messages across the board, making sure that you're able to build up that brand awareness for your brand on Amazon, because every time there's an opportunity to build up that brand awareness, it's super important that you do that. Now, Amazon Posts is also a big reason why you should be using Amazon storefronts. Amazon Posts is essentially Amazon's own little social media. It's a free exposure for your Amazon listings that acts as a social media on Amazon. Through Amazon's posts, you can follow your brand. People can follow your brand, and then also participating in Amazon posts unlocks other tools on Amazon, such as brand tailored promotions and customer engagement. So basically, in order to unlock something like brand tailored promotions or customer engagements, you first need the storefront, and then you need to start participating in Amazon posts. That's kind of the sequence that's needed. Now, Amazon posts not only are available on your storefront, or visual on your storefront, I must say, they are also visual now on your actual listings on desktop and mobile. Now, Amazon will sometimes feature your Amazon posts on your competitors' listings. You don't have control over what competitor that is or what products they are featuring you on. But Amazon will pick this based off of the algorithm of the products that they are seeing on Amazon. Now, the last thing I will say as a use for Amazon Storefront would be external support, which is something I spoke about in that previous slide. The Storefront is really a great spot to drive external traffic for those of you that have multiple products. So sometimes, for example, I have brands that they will have, they'll have like a certain sale or something like that that features multiple products. And instead of just driving them to one listing, you're able to drive them to the Storefront where they have more of an option to pick from your products instead of just the one listing. So that's one really great use for it, is basically allowing you to show all of your products instead of just the one. This also allows them a really good spot to land where basically you're able to put your best foot forward. You have the most content creativity here with your Storefront. There's a lot more things you can do. The Storefront ultimately does look better than actual Amazon listing. So if you are able to drive traffic to it, conversions can be increased because it's more of an immersive shopping experience rather than just a regular Amazon listing. So I do want to go through just some examples with you guys of different storefronts that I feel like are doing a pretty good job. So let's go ahead and look at the Vital Protein storefront. They're always one of my favorites that I show. If you guys are a coaching client of mine, or if you had audit calls, I'm sure you've already seen this storefront. This storefront, so these are the shoppable images I was talking about. So you definitely want to make sure you're participating in this, just because it's easy for someone to just add the product directly to the cart. Super fast and easy. You can see here that they also have a video. This is something I recommend that all of you guys do. If you have multiple video contents, I believe you can put 2 videos on your homepage, and then you could do 1 on each different tab as well. So that gives you that availability to make sure you're using all that content available. You can see right here that they have a breakdown of different product selections. If you do not have a catalog as big as Vital Proteins, this isn't necessary, but it's a good example if you do eventually expand your products and everything like that, and you have that bigger shopping experience. That's something that's really good to look at. And then you can see here they've got great infographics explaining that product further. So all really great stuff when it comes to a storefront. So Vital Proteins does it really, really well. We have this one right here, this is a dog company for dog toys. So you can see right here, they've got like a product carousel up here where it shows the different products, which I think is really great. So this is a feature that you guys could roll out into your storefront. You can see right here, again, really strong infographics, which is great. And then each image, as you can see, is clickable. So this would go ahead and lead us to another listing, or I guess they haven't hooked up to the store, but I would hook it up to a listing if it were me. So there are different links that you are able to put in there. And I highly recommend every single image that you guys use is linked. Now, additionally, you can see that there is lifestyle imagery. This is also a really great option, trying to make sure that you are showing that demographic in action. So obviously, the demographic for these products is our 4 legged friends, but these are really great images as well, something that we all can learn from. You can see right here, they also have the add to cart buttons. This is something I do recommend having a page. Now, you can see right here also that they have a breakdown of their different products. This is something that I do recommend doing if you have probably more than 3 products. It probably makes sense to start to break it down a little bit more clear based off of your product categories. So you can see right here that they've got dual layer, squeak, dry tech, silver, plush. So that's basically a quick way for people to be able to shop those different things. Now, what's great about this is if you are participating in Amazon PPC and you are driving traffic to the storefront, you are able to pick what tab that person ends on. And same thing when you're sending any external traffic, you can pick that tab. So this is a really great way to kind of control your messaging when you are using the Amazon storefront as an actual marketing tactic rather than just setting it up and forgetting about it. Now, the last one I'll go ahead and show you guys is Bloom. They do a really great job with their storefront as well. You can see right here that one thing that they have that I really love is they remind people to follow their store. People that are not on Amazon all the time, they might not know that that's an option. So it's really helpful to do it this way. That way, it's almost a little reminder, right, on your page. So you can see right here that similar to those last stores we were looking at, they do have it broken down into different product categories, which is great. But also, we'll go ahead and look at their posts. They do a good job with their posts. Obviously, they're pretty big into like influencers and user-generated content and things like that. So for them, Amazon posts are probably a little bit easier than other people, but they do have really good content on here that you can kind of get a good idea of some possibilities that you could even use for your brand as well. So Amazon posts, like I said, they really unlock different tools, like I said, with the brand tailored promotions, customer engagements, things like that. But as you can see, Amazon posts are located within your storefront. And it is definitely something that I recommend that all of you participate in, those that you are on the call and those of you that are watching it back. So the storefront really does have a lot of capabilities. As you can see, every single one we've looked at here has its own style, its own way of organizing and things like that. So I highly recommend that you take your time when you are designing a storefront and make sure that it fits your brand and things like that. So how can we do that? How can we ensure that our brand messaging is consistent and is something that is portrayed through our actual Amazon storefront? So obviously those are great examples. All three of these brands are relatively larger brands. So how can you implement this knowing that you might not have as much content or things like that? So what I would recommend doing is looking at your competitors' storefronts on Amazon. I really recommend starting there. And asking yourself the following. So what images are being used by my competitors on Amazon? What's being used by them? What video assets? So for example, if I'm selling a dog toy, what videos do they have? Do they have a dog playing with the toy, or do they have the CEO talking about the actual toy and what makes someone different? So seeing the type of video assets that are created, I think is really, really helpful. What product attributes are they focusing on? So if we go back to that dog example, right, their storefront is broken up into the durability of certain products and things like that. So that's the approach that I would take, is how are people organizing it? What benefits are they focusing on? That's what I want to focus on as well. Same thing with the tabs. How are they organizing it? Tabs and product categories. So if you guys are in the supplement space, looking at vital proteins, Bloom nutrition, things like that, that's a really good idea, just because you can see, how can I organize this? As I'm on Vital Protein Store, is this shoppable? Does this make sense? Will this help with conversions? So that's what I would definitely recommend doing. And then lastly, what content are they using for Amazon posts? So you can see there that Bloom had a very specific way of doing their Amazon posts. Again, it's a lot of user-generated content. So maybe you could, try to replicate that if you like user-generated content and it matches your brand guidelines and your vibe. That's a really great example. But maybe you're like Vital Proteins, it's a little bit more structured. You want some infographics in there and things like that. That's something that you can also do, just depending on what's available to you. So looking at your competitors is definitely a really great starting point as you start to develop the storefront. Now, keep in mind with the storefront, this is not something that's set it up and forget about it. This is something that you can always be adjusting and changing and obviously implementing new tools within the storefront as Amazon comes up with them. Now, how do we track the success of our storefront? So within the Amazon storefront, once you launch it, you are able to look at different insights, such as the visitors to the store, how many went, how many views your storefront has, your brand followers, the sales that your storefront has generated, the units sold, total orders, and then your top pages, meaning those tabs, which page is doing the best compared to the others. So there is a lot of tracking involved with the storefront, and it's something that I would recommend at least checking monthly, just so you have a good sense of what is going on and if there are optimizations that need to be made. So, a couple of different things that are available to the storefront. So like I said, when you're tracking that data, you are able to do split tests on that if you want. It is going to be more of a manual process. They don't have experiments yet within the storefront, but it's something you could manually track. And then additionally, there is a tool within the storefront called Storefront Versions, where you are able to create like a holiday storefront for Q4. You could do like a Prime Day storefront where you feature different deals that are going on with the store. So there are different things available to you within the store where you can kind of track that success and see how that's all going. Now, for those of you guys that are working with us here at TurnKey, you are able to find our best practices on the Amazon storefront by going to our conversion accelerator and checking out the Amazon storefront accelerator. So other than that, that's all I have on the actual Amazon storefront. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I will